Okay. All right. Sunday Night Live. Oh my gosh, you guys. I know it's been a minute since I've been on Sundays and it's been a little crazy. So I'll give you a little backstory about that. And hair's a little disheveled. Okay. You can ignore that because I'm going to bring you some great information today. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory where I've been, but where I really want to dive into is it's flu season and it's sickness season and how do we protect ourselves? And so I've got a whole checklist of things that I want you to be aware of, things that are going to help you, things that are going to help to bulletproof your immune system through the winter. I know there's, usually each and every year I come on and I do something with regards to immune health. And we really need to pay attention to what we're doing as we hit these fall, the fall, well, it's almost winter, right? The fall time. So, hey, Kenny, I look smallish. What's smallish mean? I don't know what that means. There is I see. You are, so they have this new thing on here where there's a vertical orientation. And I think that's designed for, if you're watching on your phone, I think that's designed to pull in more viewers. So I don't know. I feel like my head is huge in that vertical window. So yeah. So I have the vertical window and the horizontal window. So are you, and you're on your phone because I see there's a little vertical phone next to your name. So that's where you are calling from. Yes. Does that make sense? But does it look small? I guess maybe I should go and test it. Let me go see if I'm on my phone. And what do I look like on my phone? Can't fake being healthy. Nope. Live. I don't know. There's always a delay when I go to my phone. So honestly, I am not sure. You're on your PC. Oh, interesting. So why is that vertical thing there? Not you specifically. I meant, there's a square around you. Yeah. But you're on your PC, which is so weird. I don't know. This is like a whole new thing. Let's see and it's on my channel. When I go to my page, it's on there both ways. It actually streams twice. And so let's see what that looks like there. Oh yeah, there we go. Hold on, let me turn that down. Yeah, that's really kind of dumb. Okay. We're going to move along as long as you can see me. But there's another one. If you go to my page, there's a second stream and I'm normal. I'm horizontal. I mean, normal is a big word. And it does look more normal on your phone. Okay. Let's see where we go here. There we go. Tired, sick, and stressed. Oh, no. See, I'm like this. There we go. There we go. Tired, sick, and stressed. Okay. All right. We can do all the tech stuff later. So I had a great summer. I know we're into fall and I haven't seen you guys in several months. And what happened was I was at the lake or I was at the pool and I was just squeezing all the juice I could out of summer. And it was everything I could do. I don't have a computer that allows me to be outside to do my shows. And if you know me, and I'll explain it, that I don't like to be inside in the summer. So it did not resonate with me to come and sit inside for an hour, even though I love you guys, even though I love bringing this information to you. And so then you're probably saying, I know, but summer ended 3 months ago. And I've had speaking engagements, I've been traveling. So it's just been, it's been a little weird scheduling wise. So here I am. I have another speaking engagement on Tuesday. I'm trying to prepare for. I started an online course. I'm teaching chiropractors and healthcare professionals how to implement nutrition and functional medicine into their practices. So I'm writing this course. I have to deliver it every Monday. So I'm building that every weekend. So that was a bit of a distraction as well. And I found an opening to be here today to talk to you all about your immune system. and helping everybody to stay healthy as we move into these winter months. Hey, Mad Dog, so nice to see you. Thanks for being in here. And if you are coming in, please be sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this as well. This is a time of year when everyone is feeling the stress of the winter and the cold months. So I know I got a little cough there, but it's nothing, I don't know what that was. I'm not feeling sick or anything like that. But it's important to have the conversation now, because I'm hearing it from my patients over and over, and they're saying, I usually get really sick this time of year. Oh yeah, I get sick every year. I get a sinus infection every year at this time. Now, you guys, if you are saying that to yourselves, if you're in earshot, or if you know somebody, your spouse, your kids, your aunt, uncle, brother, sister, mother, father, if someone you know gets sick regularly every year, there's a problem. It's not just, we cannot normalize getting sick every year. So think about in a household, if you've got a household of people and one person gets sick all the time and someone else doesn't, well, what's the difference there? And if it's a family, it's not genetics. It's the person whose immune system is tanked out. The viruses are around all year long. Viruses don't just suddenly, get into their U-Hauls and come into town and set up shop. They are here. They're surrounding us all the time. But there's a bunch of factors that lend themselves into this being like cold and flu season. So we call it a season for a reason. So the biggest reason is that we're not spending as much time outside. So I've done multiple videos on vitamin D production, why it's critical to get your vitamin D. I spend so much time outside in the sun without sunscreen because I'm filling my vitamin D tank. And most of you are out there slathering on these toxic chemicals and blocking the sun and blocking that valuable vitamin D production. And so I'm not going to talk about how to get vitamin D production right now in the sun. There's other videos on my channel. You can go back and look those up. But that's typically what happens, is you're not getting enough exposure to the sun to begin with. Now, we can get vitamin D from specific foods, but really the sun is the best way. We can get vitamin D from supplementation, but the sun is the best way. So it's really important that we pay attention to next year, or if you go on vacation. Now, if I go on vacation and I go, because I would be going south, I would be going somewhere south and warm. I always like to get as near the equator as I can. And I will use a mineral-based sunscreen. So that's like a zinc oxide formulation that doesn't have any toxic chemicals in it, because that sun's going to be pretty strong and I don't want to burn and I don't want to ruin my vacation. But then once I'm there, 3 days, I'm usually fine. I just, get that base, protect my skin, and then I'm usually pretty good to go. Slather is a great word, isn't it, Kenny? And Mad Dog says, I think I have SAD thing with the sun, so seasonal affective disorder. And I get very depressed in the winter. Yeah, I'm just lucky. I know so many people. And so this is why. Also, if you get depressed in the winter, you're probably more prone to colds and flus. And so, that's the first big thing, is that you're surrounded by viruses all year long. But what happens in the fall time? Now, we lose the sunlight. We're now being fully clothed. We're indoors more. We close up the doors and windows, so we're not getting as much fresh air. That movement of fresh air, and I've done videos on this, is that many people I know who are more prone to asthma, allergies, colds, flus, sinus infections are the same people who cannot stand being outside. They constantly have to be inside in the air conditioning in the warm, hot weather. And so start to think about these patterns. Are you somebody that has this pattern that it's affecting you in a way that is now impacting your health through the winter? Hi, Margaret. It's nice to see you in here. Thanks for popping in. Nice to see you on this channel, and would love if you gave us a like and a subscribe. So a lot of people get seasonal affective disorder, and it's because the fuel tank empties. Now, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. So what that means, so we have vitamins A, D, E, and K. Those are all fat soluble, which means they're stored in fat tissue. And no, Kenny, we got 9 people here. You're probably the only one. You're probably the only one that's commenting. No, Mad Dog's commenting. Oh, you know what though? We're streaming from different channels. So yeah, we've got 3 different channels that people are chiming in from. So maybe that's why you're thinking you're the only one. Mad Dog says, I don't get colds and flu once the weather changes, maybe. Hey, Ken, I see you popped in, and I made it. I made it for Sunday Night Live.
Cool. Glad to see it. Sorry, I'm late, but you carry on, young lady.
Well, I didn't even put the show together till about an hour and a half ago, and I was like, okay, Ken's either going to see it or he's not going to see it. So, and I should have texted you, but I had so many other things going on. And martial artist, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Yes. Oh, you don't. Yeah. So I think I see everybody on my end, Kenny, because I have all the channels coming in. I think I'm streaming to 6 channels. So who knows where everybody's coming in at, but thanks for being here. Okay. So we have this whole vitamin D issue. So vitamin D will get stored in your fat cells, unlike something like vitamin C, and vitamin C is a water soluble nutrient. So that means if I take 2 tablets of vitamin C with my water in the morning, let's say I take 2,000 milligrams, it's going to go in, saturate whatever cells it needs to, and then I'm going to pee out the rest. So I do always recommend taking vitamin C during the winter as well, but I take a powdered C, and I take I put 5,000 in my big water bottle, and then I drink part of it down, and I keep filling. I drink part of it down. So I drink my C slowly over the course of about 2 to 3 hours so that I'm constantly saturating, bathing my cells. I take that every day with creatine and with electrolytes. And it's just that's a daily practice for me. I've been doing that for years. I feel great. It gives me energy. I don't really get sick, so it's doing something. But so you got D, which is your fat soluble, and then you have your water solubles. Hey, Lily, nice to see you in here. So the other problem that we get, so again, we have these viruses flying around all year long. Now, what happens in the fall time is there's this heavy push to go get your injections. Your flu, your shingles, your measles, all of these interventions. There's a heavy push to go inject these poisons into your body. And the problem with that is the viruses that are in those actually shed. So people don't recognize that. So you're going to get this intervention that you think is going to protect you, and then you end up shedding it through saliva, through breath, through coughing, through sneezing, and you end up being a perpetuator of the virus. So if you think about that, we have all these pathogens around us, but then suddenly this huge population of people goes and gets the intervention, and now suddenly the people are perpetuating the viruses even more so. So this is why also when people are like, yeah, as soon as my kids go back to school, they get really sick. Yeah, it's because all the kids think that the parents think they need to have their kids with all these interventions, and you can get your kids into school without doing all of that. Again, whole different topic of conversation, but you have to be mindful of where all this garbage comes from. Yes, Michael, stay away from these injections so you're not a carrier. You carry it and you shed it. And it's crazy. There are, I love you, Michael. Thank you so much. It's so great to see you on here live. That's great. There is so much of this, somehow it's become this thing where people who have babies demand that their family members go get these interventions. You notice I'm staying away from the word because I don't want to get my channel smacked. But that they require that their family members go get these interventions, because then they'll say, well, and if you don't, you can't see the baby. Not realizing, okay, great, grandma and grandpa go get the thing, and then they come to visit the baby and they kiss all over the baby. And what happens? Now the baby starts getting really sick. Can't understand why, because everybody's got the thing. Don't know where it's coming from. So you guys, it's insanity. So we cannot get everything we need from outside. Now, Dr. Eric and I did Chiropractic is Sexy on Thursday. You can go into my channel or go to the Chiropractic is Sexy channel, and you can see that episode. And we talked about how health comes from the inside. Health does not come from the outside in the way of medications and injections and all of these outside interventions. We did talk about supplementation in the sense that when you take supplements, it actually supports the body so that it has more health from the inside. And it's all about the biology. Thank you, Ken. That's right. And one of the reasons that this subject came up about health coming from the inside, and I'm gonna get into some other structure with your immune system for for the winter. But I was at the gym a couple of weeks ago, and I had a woman that I know her very well. She's very sweet. She works her butt off at the gym. She's like early mid 60s. She looks amazing. She's doing great things for her lifestyle. And she said to me, "Oh my God, you look great. What work have you had done?" And I go, "Work?" She goes, "Yeah, you've had work done on your face." And I go, "You mean like a facelift?" And she goes, "No, like Botox. You've had Botox, right? It looks great." And I go, I haven't had any work done. This is like 59. And this is what good, healthy lifestyle looks like, is when you take care of yourself properly, the health comes from the inside. Your skin looks amazing. Your eyes are brighter. You shine from the inside out. You look like you're healthy from the inside. There's no amount of Botox. When people have Botox, you know that they've had, it's like they have no laugh lines. I mean, what would happen if I didn't have laugh lines? I mean, I got little lines going over here, and, I'm a little saggy, and I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Like I'm happy, and I don't want to put that garbage in my body, because I don't want to fake health. And I think that's what too many of us are doing, is we're out there attempting to fake health, and we can't do it. We have to stop. We have to stop chasing the quick fix, and we have to really start taking that step by step. Every day, it's a new step. It's a commitment every single day, and it isn't going to be pretty. And so you have to start over every single day. Lily says, "I've never had to say no to my dad ever. I was always there for him, but I had to say no over that particular thing. Sad day." Right. And good for you for doing that, because that's the thing, is you can't take it back. Once it's done, you can't take it back. And there's a lot of people who regret it. And those of us who have never done it, never, ever regret not doing it. I was left outside in blow weather to sleep. What's blow weather to sleep as a baby 48 years ago? No one does it these days. What's blow weather, Mad Doug? That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Under zero temperature, and it's a thing in Europe, especially in like the Netherlands, and that they'll leave their children outside in the middle of winter to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
As long as they're bundled up. Yeah, I always tell people, you can put on more layers to stay warm. You can only take so much off before they throw you in jail.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's very interesting. I wouldn't be comfortable with it, but hey, you're here, Mad Dog, so that's great. For a nap, not overnight. Yeah. Okay, let me go to my notes here. So we're talking about vitamin D, and what I want to go through this whole process, and then we'll talk about some nutrients that I would recommend that you can look into as well. And I will put in the show notes. I didn't get them in there before we went live, but I will put in the show notes links to different protocols that I have for immune protocols. So, okay, so we have less sunlight. The sunlight is also weaker, so we have that. So even though like I was outside Friday and Saturday, either walking the dog and doing work outside, I was pretty covered up. I think I had a t-shirt on Friday. Not as much sun exposure as I would like. And then, and so we don't get, so the sun is lower in the sky, so we don't get that depth of penetration from the sun. And so I always recommend you get your vitamin D levels measured. So, go get some blood work, get some basic labs. I work via Zoom with my patients. So if there's any, if you want to work virtually, we can absolutely do that. And I can get things ordered for you. Ghetto Hippie is right on that. And it's a thing. We're blocking our sun. We have all of this, artificial weather modification, and I don't like it. So, still kind of chaps me every summer that we get the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. And I'm like, why aren't we getting it in the winter? What's happening? It gets bad here. So, okay. So it's moving on from vitamin D. The other thing is less movement. So in the winter, we have to be more mindful of our movement. So this is where if you, I always recommend to people get into a class. Community is really, really critical any time of year, but community is amazing in the winter months because then you feel it's not as daunting to want to get up and go outside when it's cold, because you're going to see people that are connected to you. And when you're connected to people, that brings us joy, and joy actually helps the immune system. So when that joy helps fuel your heart, and when your heart's centered, it actually helps improve immune function. So it's really critical to make sure that you have a solid social base of people. And so you get a partner to go to the gym, or get a partner to go walk at the mall, or have somebody. Dr. Erica and I, you guys have seen us on Chiropractic is Sexy. She and I, we have this Marco Polo app. So we're on this Marco Polo app here. And every day, several times a day, we leave video messages for each other every morning. So if you have somebody you can connect with every morning, somebody to say, hey, how are you doing? Have an amazing day. That also, a lot of times people will talk to their parents or talk to their kids on their way into work, or just to get their day started. Those little things are going to help with your mindset. I think I got off on a little tangent because I was talking about movement, but movement led into community. And so in order to get you to a community to move, I think that, it's critical that we make those relationships and we prioritize them. Lily says, we live in interesting times, to say the least. Yes, we do. It's funny to think the wildfire stopped at the border. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then again, the smoke gets very highly concentrated over Michigan, and not sure why. Don't know about that either. There's days that you walk outside, but it always smells like plastic. So it never actually smells like a campfire. And nobody ever talks about it. Where are they coming from? How much is burning? Have they been burning out? Like, we never get a status update on it, which is also a bit questionable for me. And of course, I'm jumping into a little bit of a rabbit hole. So yes, Mad Dog, everyone needs someone, have that accountability. And Margaret, yes, smells like freaking plastic. It's disgusting. But yeah, again, for some reason, the temperature changes. We haven't had smoke in a couple of months since summer. So don't know. All right. So when we move, what movement does is it moves your lymphatics. So it helps to drain your lymphatic system, improves your circulation. Your lymphatic system is like, it's like it's like the garbage disposal of your body. And so anytime you have all these chemical processes, you have, your body needs to take away toxins and waste, and it goes through the lymphatic system, and that flushes it out of the body. And so the more movement you can do, that's why people do rebounders. They get on the little trampolines, and that kind of movement, that bouncing movement, that actually helps to stimulate the lymphatic pumps. Your lymphatic pumps are right in here too. So I tell people, I say, go like this. And I mean, tap that really hard. It's kind of right inside the shoulder, right there where the pec meets the shoulder bone, top of the shoulder bone. That's your lymphatic system. So if you're feeling drained, you can do a little bit of pressing on your sinuses, and then come down here and hit those lymphatics. And Lily says Lily enjoys her rebounder. So yeah. I missed some, let me go here. Let's see. Margaret says, I live there near the Detroit-Windsor border. Okay. We're almost neighbors. Yeah. So my office is up in New Hudson, so not far from you. Yep. I know exactly where you're at, Margaret. right over here somewhere. So yes. What is this? Light drum. Are you looking in the mirror talking? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Got some weird comments going on in there. Yes. Rebounding helps release endorphins. Endorphins help with mood and inflammation and pain and healing. So, yes, busiest border in North America. It's crazy. Let's see where we're at. Seeing as how I'm a mad, you were, I don't know what's happening. Can he manage all of that? I don't know what's going on over there. Okay. Let's get back to, so we need to move our lymphatic system. We need to move our bodies, and you could just stand in place and kind of jump up, and not jump, but even just sort of bounce in place and let your shoulders go. And you'll feel so energized if you did that for like 20 seconds. It's amazing. But any kind of movement, I always recommend getting up and trying to move once an hour. So I was working on my course for tomorrow. I have a talk on Tuesday. And so I was working for, an hour, and I'd get up and I'd move around, and then I was standing, rehearsing my talk, because I don't like to sit to do that. I get more energized. So, finding your path that way. Don't sit too long. Otherwise you get stagnant. Now, as we move into the fall time, we get more holiday obligations. We get more family stress. There's work deadlines. It's year end. There's financial pressure. It's dark in the morning, and it's dark when we come home. And our nervous systems respond to this. Our nervous system feels this. So we end up getting more stress, which is more detrimental to our immune system. And, good. Somebody deleted light drum on there. Thank you. Whoever did that, appreciate it. So we get life stress, we get family stress. It's also like people are under financial stress, and then we come into the holidays and we got to buy presents for each other, and that puts more financial stress on. And then of course all the parties, and that's going to tie into, we'll talk about all of the parties and the celebrating and what that does to our diets. But this is a time of increased mental emotional stress. So we have to pay attention to that. And this is where you're like resetting nightly, resetting during the day. If you can do, screen free time, deep breathing. I always recommend blowing up a balloon, because you'll never forget how to blow up a balloon. And I could tell you 10 different ways to do deep breathing to help your nervous system, and you'll probably forget them all, because honestly, I don't remember them all. And so, but blowing up a balloon is, or pretending to blow up a balloon, you end up getting a pattern of breath work that calms your immune system, calms your vagus nerve and calms your nervous system. And then of course, with immune function and stress, that's where chiropractic also comes in, is that when people get adjusted, it actually helps to manage and turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps in that rest, digest, and repair state. And so people actually will, especially through the winter months, people who get adjusted, they're like, I usually get sick this time of year and I haven't gotten sick at all. I'm like, yeah, because when you're under chiropractic care, it keeps the information superhighway open. It keeps your brain connected to your body. Your immune system actually is on alert. It knows what to do now. It's not suppressed. So if you're not getting adjusted, I really recommend finding yourself a chiropractor and get yourself adjusted, get yourself under regular chiropractic care. Now, I mentioned earlier, we have, we're back to indoor air. We close the windows, we recycle the dry air. I try to leave my door, I'm pointing because my door wall is right there. I try to leave my door wall open for as long as I can during the year. Number one, because I like the fresh air, but number two, because then Bentley goes in and out and I don't have to get up and down a million times to let him in, only so he can come back out. So I'm sure many of you with dogs feel me on that. And then another thing I do in the morning is I go outside. It was 40 degrees this morning. I just go outside and I sit in a chair with my coffee in my pajamas, like just short sleeve. I'm not even bundled up, but there's something about that cool, crisp air in the morning. It doesn't hit me like, it's refreshing. It wakes me up. It helps me energize. I'm sitting, it's quiet. It really helps my brain and my nervous system to reset. Even though I just woke up, it helps to set the tone for my day. So what are you doing in the morning? Are you picking up your phone? Are you scrolling? Are you looking at negativity the second you wake up in the morning? You got to put that aside, because we're exposed to all of that anyway. And so start your day, go outside, get that fresh air. Try to get as much fresh air as you possibly can, because it won't be long before we're completely locked in and we won't really want to we won't want to go out at all. But also, if you have a dog, you got to get out there and walk your dog too. So you bundle up and you get out there, and and you feel so much better after you get back. So okay, let's see. Lily says, some don't understand at this time and holidays with all it entails. It's not a flu bug that makes you sick. It's all the sugar overload that dampens your immune system. Lily, are you reading my notes? That's the next one. Literally, holiday habits. And so holiday habits cause a disruption to our immune system. And so think about this. From, about now in November, we end up, let's say November through probably January, I'd say, we have extra sugar, extra alcohol. We're not sleeping as much. We're staying up late. We eat large meals. We're stressed out. We're not on proper routines. The whole holiday schedules with having to, I know for people who work in corporate and, work regular 9-to-5 jobs, it's probably great to have those days and those times. For me as a business owner, it's stressful because it is a real disruption to my business when you've got Christmas Eve and Christmas right in the middle of the week. And now I have to adjust and adapt my schedule somehow so I can still, keep my doors open during the holidays. So it's very stressful for those of us who run our own business. But that being said, so we have all of these different things. And I think dietarily wise, this is where people give themselves permission to completely derail. And we can't do it. Like, you go to a party and you're like, oh my God, look at all those cookies, and you have 10 of them. If I go to a party, there's only 2 desserts that I will eat. The one are those little Russian tea cake cookies with the powdered sugar and the pecans in them. And then the other one are the pecan butter tarts because my grandmother used to make those. So those are the only ones. And I don't see them often. So, good for me. So, but you need to be discerning about if you're going to have a treat like that. The problem is we're lopsided. We spend, instead of spending 80% of your life with all these healthy habits and then leaving room for the 20%, so you have this big buffer, this great foundation of health that allows you to spend 20% of your time if you want. Take a day off from the gym or have a indulgent meal or something like that. But the problem is, we're upside down. Most people are spending 80% of their lives doing all of the things that damage their health, and then they spend 20%. They might eat a healthy meal here and there. So we have to flip that back upside down. When you go to parties, and I'm going to do another, I usually do this talk, not this one that I'm doing, but I do what I'm going to talk about here in a second. I usually do this every year. So this will be one of our Sunday night lives. I'll probably do it. I'll probably do it next week because that'll be right before Thanksgiving. And that talk focuses on how to survive the holidays, how to survive holiday foods, and how to eat properly, and how to set yourself up for success so that you don't go to all these parties. And, the average person gains like 5 pounds through the holidays. We don't want to be that person. And so, that talk, I'll do that one next Sunday, and I'll talk to you about, how to survive the holidays and what you can do to protect yourself from that. It's a great talk. You guys will get a ton out of it. So, but just as focusing on protein and plants, making sure you're protein forward, eating before you go to a party, eating healthy before you go to a party, then you're not so inclined to want to indulge. So, okay. So before we get to the last one, let me see if there's see what other, yeah, Mad Dog says it's the only reason I have a dog is to get out. And I do the same. My windows are open as long as I can open them. Paula, great minds think alike. Yes, ma'am. And dogs make the greatest companions. They sure do. Don't put a cookie jar in front of me with a cup of tea, gone in seconds. That's how a lot of people are. Me, I could take one bite and I'm good. But, a lot of people are not that. I don't have a sweet tooth. But a lot of people are just, you take one bite and you got to have the whole thing. And I get that. Your brain is working in very different ways. It's kind of working against you. So, Lily says, you guys are late for Thanksgiving. We've already had ours. Oh, well, shoot. All right. You'll have to tune in then next week then so we can get through the rest of the holidays. So, and then remind me next year so that I can make sure I know when the Canadian Thanksgiving is so I can get to that conversation earlier. Okay. So the last thing before I wrap up the immune system checklist, so I'm going to wrap all of that up for you, is chiropractic care. I would be remiss if I did not talk about the benefits of chiropractic. And a lot of people think about chiropractors for neck and back pain, and that gets you to us, which is great. And then once you're there and you start recognizing the benefits, you're like, oh, this is interesting. Not only do I not have neck and back pain, but I haven't had a sinus infection all summer. That's probably one of the biggest things that people tell me is that their immune system, they don't get sick. I've even had people tell me they've gotten bronchitis and pneumonia every year. And just by being under chiropractic care, they didn't get those crazy illnesses. So chiropractic is so powerful. And I really would urge you, if you're somebody, who you've got chronic things going on and you're just not sure, oftentimes you end up in our offices as a last resort. And we're always here to help people, always. But it's sad that we have to be people's last resort because, we get such a, we get a bad rap. We don't get support from the medical system. The medical system is only supporting you with drugs. Here, take Zyrtec every day. You know what Zyrtec does? I'll go on a quick tangent. So Zyrtec dries up your mucous membranes so you don't have congestion. You know what else it dries up? It dries up your discs in your spine. It dries up the joints in your body. It dries up your skin. So for those of us trying to age gracefully and have as few lines as possible, as few wrinkles, if you are taking some kind of antihistamine, you are drying up, you're taking the water out of your skin. You're creating more aging in your cells. Now, men, you might want to cover your ears for this one. Ladies, when you're taking Zyrtec regularly, it also dries up your vagina, okay? So this is a problem for a lot of women. They can't have sex because it's very painful. And I'm curious, are you taking an antihistamine? And maybe it's time to stop that and let's do some gut repair and let's get your hormones back on track and let's get your body functioning like it should. Your body's not deficient in antihistamines. So what the hell's happening? Let's fix it. Sorry, boys, if I derailed you, but you could, if you're a man on here and your partner is, I know Ghetto Hippie says my ears, and if your partner is having that issue, you might want to be like, stop taking that. I know what's wrong with you. No, don't say you know what's wrong with her. She'll punch you. Yeah. So brain and microbes tweaking for sugar, for sure. Thanksgiving Day in Canada is early. Okay. Okay. So let's get back over to chiropractic. So your immune system actually relies on the nervous system for communication, coordination, and that stress response. And so think about it like this, is that if you're out on the prairie and you're walking along and you're super relaxed and the sun is shining and the birds are singing and it's beautiful, you're happy, you're calm and rested, and a saber-toothed tiger jumps out from the brush and you have to run to save your life. Now, if you had a scratchy throat and you had the sniffles, is your immune system or your nervous system, is it more concerned with getting you to run to save your life or kicking on your immune system to fight that cold? It's going to shut the immune system down. If you just had a sandwich, is your nervous system more concerned about running to save your life or digesting the sandwich? Yeah. So let's think about this. There's millions of people who have digestive issues who are like, oh, it's fine. And I can take a proton pump inhibitor, an acid blocker. Your immune system's struggling. So, I can just take this antihistamine. No, figure it the F out. And that's what I do. So I hate to see people relying on these things that do nothing but cause more damage. So when you're under chiropractic care, chiropractic supports the immune system by helping nervous system regulation. So what that actually means is that when you have nervous system dysregulation, it causes more stress inside the system, or you're not managing the stress coming at you. You're more reacting to stress rather than responding. So having a good positive way to respond and to manage the stressors in your life. The stress isn't going away, you guys. So what do you do to manage the way it affects you? And chiropractic care actually helps to affect the part of your nervous system that calms you so that you can manage the stressors in your life. Because your body, your brain doesn't know the difference from you running from a saber-toothed tiger or your kid forgot their cleats and you got to run home and get them and take them back to the soccer field, or you have a deadline, or, or they start checking it off, right? You've got events coming up. You don't know how you're going to do this. You got 3 things on a Thursday and you don't know how you're going to prep for any of it. That is all saber-toothed tiger nipping at your heels. And so what do you do to regulate your immune system? And that's what chiropractic care does, is it helps regulate the immune system so that you can manage those things better. It enhances your spinal mobility. The spine gets locked. It gets locked, it gets tight. You don't have the movement, the rotation, and creating that movement in the spine by a chiropractic adjustment actually gives you more mobility. So God forbid you fall, or even you just want to turn and look out to back up your car. You've got more mobility in your body to do things that your body's designed to do instead of it being locked and stressed. And when it's locked up, it puts more stress on the nerves themselves. And a lot of people get into chronic pain patterns that way. When you get adjusted, it helps improve circulation and it helps improve lymphatic flow. So we talked about the lymphatic flow earlier and how important that is. A lot of people get stagnant lymphatic drainage. You'll see that in like people who have ankle swelling, they'll have puffiness in the ankles. You take your sock off and you've got the sock lines, or you wake up in the morning and your hands are really stiff. You can feel that there's fluid in there. That's all poor circulation and poor lymphatic flow. And chiropractic adjustments actually help improve that. Because the adjustments improve rest, digestion, and repair, and improve nervous system function, your parasympathetic, which is not your fight or flight, and improve sleep quality. We see this a lot in babies. So when we get babies coming in and we just do, and it's a very different adjustment. It's very slight. A lot of times it's just the pressure of a finger, and baby hasn't been latching or baby hasn't been sleeping. And I'll get a picture from mom a couple hours later and baby's completely conked out. So it's really, really powerful for not just for adults, but for babies, especially in those situations. And so, as I said too, it helps shift you from fight or flight. It helps shift you from that saber-toothed tiger state, and it helps you tame your tiger. It helps you go into more of rest, digest, repair, and calm. And we need to live more there. We can't always live there. We have to be in sympathetic at some point, but we're living too much in fight or flight, way too much. And so we have to tame that tiger and be able to live harmoniously with our tiger. So if you're feeling like, your immune system's really struggling, chiropractic care can really expand that for you. So like I say, I highly encourage you to find yourself a good chiropractor. Okay, before I wrap up and summarize, let's see. The stomach is the body's second brain. Yeah, and you know what, Mad Dog? A lot of people say it's the first brain. So, there's a gut-brain connection, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know if it's the first or the second brain, but it is pretty darn intuitive. And we've got to, the stomach sends signals to the brain for those cravings, like you were saying. And I think that was what you were saying. No, martial artist said brain and microbes tweaking for sugar. Yeah, when there's poor microbes in the gut, it sends signals to the brain for sugar because they feed on sugar. And so those microbes will be like, give us sugar. And it sends those toxic signals to the brain, which is why a lot of people stay in those states of craving. So we can usually start to break a craving cycle within about 2 to 3 days on a good, healthy detox. So I've aged since I started drinking coffee. It's all Ken got you drinking coffee. Mad Dog says, sorry, ladies, makeup is poison too. Yeah, I know, Mad Dog. And you know what? I use a combination of all natural and toxic poison. And you'll notice my purple hair. And yeah, so I know I'm not sitting here in a glass house. I'm just saying there's things I know I do, and there's things that I refuse to do. So just trying to put the message out for everyone to do their best. And let's see. Lily says, I haven't worn makeup for decades for that very reason. get stoned. You guys are funny. Okay, let's see. Gifted chiropractor would be great. Yes, lots of gifted it's hard to find a good chiropractor. I'll tell you that. I'm looking for a good chiropractor. Dr. Erica, she's 45 minutes from me. So I'm trying to find somebody close by to me that I can see regularly because I need weekly adjustments. It's my job is physical. I work out a lot. I do a lot for my mindset. But I'm a business owner, I'm a single mom. There's some life, right? So I need my chiropractic care. I'm gonna pop this up here. Thank you, Mad Dog. You're gonna make Kenny mad. Kenny's usually the one giving me all those compliments. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. If you can reduce the toxins any amount, you're headed in the right direction for your health. And that is so true, Lily. And that's really, we do have to pay attention to what we're doing in our daily lives. Candles and Glade plugins are the worst. And actually, I always land on laundry detergent. I think laundry detergent, it's all bad. But the reason I say laundry detergent is because you wash your clothes, you wash your bed sheets, and then you're wearing them all day long. And then you sleep in your bed sheets. You're never away from that scent, from the scents and the dyes. So I would say, if you're going to change out something, you gotta do your laundry detergent first. And of course, don't use what do you call it? Dryer sheets. Those are just toxic waste. Kenny, I know, Kenny. I got a compliment that I'm beautiful. So you're welcome to put more in there if you want. And vinegar. Yeah, a lot of times I'll do just vinegar and I mix it with baking soda, and it forms an OxyClean. I do my workout clothes in vinegar and baking soda. Lily says, I got rid of chemical cleaners in my home. And the thing is, there's all these like natural cleaners on the market. All you need, I have a video on that I did. All you need, I go to Costco, I get the giant thing of baking soda, I get the giant thing of vinegar, and I use peroxide. And I don't always use peroxide. Keep the peroxide on hand because that's helpful when the dog gets skunked. But it does help, like if you get a nasty stain or blood in something or coffee, that peroxide is really helpful to pull that out. But most of the time, I just use diluted vinegar and water with essential oils, and I clean everything in my house with that, and works just fine. It's what my mom cleaned with. We don't need all this garbage, Yes, dryer sheets are absolutely poisonous. And thank you, Kenny. Yes, hydrogen peroxide, I just mentioned that. Let's see, nice one, Mad Dog. I caught a contact empathy buzz from that compliment. That's funny. Okay, so I'm going to summarize my list real quick. So we talked about knowing your vitamin D levels, making sure you're getting those checked. The typical lab level is going to be 30 at the bottom end, up to about 65 or 70. If you come in at 35, your doctor's probably going to say, you're a little low, or your doctor might tell you it's totally normal. That number should really be up closer to 75 and above. So even if you're at 50, you got to get that vitamin D level up. So that is probably the number one thing you can do through the winter for your immune system. That is actually more potent than any of these injections and outside interventions that people are trying to push on you. And it doesn't have side effects, and it doesn't have heavy metals, and it doesn't have antibiotics in it. It doesn't have latex. It doesn't have, what else? It's not cultured on aborted fetal tissue or monkey kidneys, or, it's crazy. all those injections, like go look that up. Like, how are they made? They are so many toxic ingredients, and I would never put that stuff in my body. So so know your vitamin D levels and move your body daily in some way, shape, or form. Even if you can't get outside, if it's raining, stand up from your desk and walk around, or just, squat up and down several times. I don't care what you do or how you do it, just move your body and move in big motions, just reaching really high, bending over, touch your toes, reach high, just move in big motions. And again, that's going to help your lymphatic drainage. Protecting your sleep window. So be very, very mindful of your sleep. Having that sleep routine, turning off the TV, journaling, practicing gratitude, setting your goals for the week, anything you can do right before bed that sets a positive mindset, because oftentimes we're going to bed with a lot of chatter in the brain. So if you keep a journal next to your bed and you take all the chatter that's in your head and you write it down, you've now just given your brain permission to turn off for the night. It's a great, great practice. That and magnesium can help too. Managing stress, I just talked about breathing, journaling, getting your adjustments, eating protein forward and heavy on the plants, making sure you stay well hydrated. Staying hydrated all winter is key. Even though we don't have sun and the heat, we still have to have that hydration for our cells to function properly. And then getting adjusted regularly. Like I said, I prefer weekly adjustments. I know some people are like, I'm good monthly. I'm like, I'm telling you it's not, but okay, at least they're coming regularly. But really, if it was up to me, I think everybody should be adjusted at least once a week. And the reason for that is we've got all of these stressors. We've got physical, chemical, emotional stressors. We've got crap in the air that's being sprayed upon us that we have no control over. We're constantly being bombarded. Our nervous system's constantly being stressed. And chiropractic, the reason people say once you go to the chiropractor, you have to go forever, you got to marry one or whatever they say, is that chiropractic will help your body get to where it needs to go. It'll help improve health in a multitude of ways. But then you're going back out into the world, into physical, chemical, emotional stress. Then you come back in and you get adjusted. And now it helps to help repair and help put you back in a parasympathetic state. Then you go back out. And so it's this teeter-totter effect. And what happens when people are like, I'm good, I'm going to stop chiropractic, is now you don't have the protection of that adjustment, because now it's not there to unlock the spine anymore, or you're like, I'm only going to go once a month. Well, you've had 4 weeks of shit. How, and then you come in and I don't know why I'm in pain today. Yeah. Cause you went 4 weeks without an adjustment. Like it's not a miracle. It is a miracle, but it has to be utilized properly for your body to really get the max benefit out of it. So, that is my soapbox for chiropractic. Okay, let's get caught up on some comments. Let's see. Lily says, I put my laundry out. Oh, yes, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, you are going to be putting that list into the description on YouTube after the show, correct?
There is a small list in there, and then I'm going to put a link to, I'm actually going to have an immune, I have it, I created it, but I need to edit it and make it look pretty. So I'll have that in there tomorrow, and it's actually going to be a full immune system checklist. So you guys will be able to go in the notes tomorrow, give me till like late tomorrow. Go in the notes tomorrow. You can click on that, and it's a full immune system checklist that you can have. It'll talk about different foods and nutrients. And then I'll have, from my Full Script account, I'll have a link to the supplements that I recommend for your for immune function. So yes.
And you guys will have to go and sign up on Paula's YouTube channel to get that stuff. So don't forget to do that.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, Lily says, I put my laundry out on the line spring, summer, and autumn. I draw the line at winter. I love it. It's amazing how good your clothes smell just from fresh air, right? So great. Um, Hope everyone is feeling good, feeling fly. Yes, we are, Marshall. I'm not sure. Lily says, are you listening to this advice, Ken? Not sure what I said. No way can I keep a journal next to my bed because all the chatter in my brain while I'm nodding off or sleeping is NSFW. I don't know what NSFW chatter is. You're going to have to like text me that. I don't know. Hey, Rory Gardner. Nice to see you in here. And yes, a lot of aluminum in that. In fact, there was actually data that supported that when you got the flu thing, it made you like 40% more likely to get the COVID thing. Not like the virus. Yeah. So you were more prone to getting the virus if you got the flu thing. Crazy town, you guys, crazy town. Health does not come. Probably don't want to highlight that comment. What about the aluminum or yours? Yeah. Okay. Oh, the other one. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what I don't know, I guess. My brain chatter includes far too many F-bombs. Mine does too, only it's not in my brain. It comes right out. It's like, yeah. Don't put any of that on the screen. Let's see. Do we have a link to her channel? We do. Ken, can you put a link to, there we go. Yep. Thank you, sir. And I do have I referred to a bunch of other videos on my channel as well. So they are there. Not safe for work. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Kenny. It was all about the chatter. Ken sometimes had difficulty falling asleep because all the chatter in his head. Is it that loud that you can hear it, Lily? And yes, aluminum leads to dementia, and it's interesting because there also several years ago there was a study that showed that people who got the regular flu thing were like 10 times more likely to get dementia because of, so what happens is the aluminum goes in there. It's called an adjuvant, and it blocks the immune pathway, or not the detox pathway. And so it blocks the detox pathway. So then all of the toxins in those adjuvants, they go into the body. They go into, it's supposed to form an immune assault. Like it's supposed to flare up the immune system and get your immune system going to fight against this virus that they just injected into you, but it has all these other things in it. So then what happens is aluminum is so toxic to get out of the body, it has to go into long-term storage, and it ends up getting stored in the brain, in the fat tissue, in the breasts. It's really, really quite dangerous. So a lot of people are heavy metal toxic. And so doing a heavy metal cleanse is always a good idea when we do our detox. I'm going to be doing detox with the doc after the beginning of the year. I haven't picked, it's a 10-day detox. I don't usually start it right at the beginning of the year. I usually start about mid-January or so. And it's a 10-day program coached by me in a private group. And I kind of, just walk you through it. Just a good start to your year. So keep that in mind. And Lily says, aluminum in deodorant, stay away from that. Yes, for sure. Aluminum also reacts with, wait, where is the mercury one? Aluminum also reacts to the mercury. So Ghetto Hippie, so here's what was interesting, was when the whole mercury thing was like, get mercury out of vaccines. And so they were like, oh, okay, we'll take mercury out. Well, they didn't quite take it out. What they did was they reduced it to safe levels. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and that mercury thermometer broke, it was like we had to call in hazmat. Like you couldn't touch that stuff. So they reduced the mercury and they increased the aluminum. So they were like, oh, we'll just put aluminum in it because they have to have an irritant to the immune system. So they put the aluminum in it. And it was like, we'll just trade one toxic heavy metal for the next. It's crazy. Can only take so much heavy metal. Rory. So I do, it's a 10-day cleanse. It's a ton of food. I do use a medical grade food, which is a powder, which we use. It raises phase 2 of detoxification. So just real quick, what that means is that there's phase 1 detox, phase 2, phase 3. So phase 1, toxins come into the liver, they get broken down. Phase 1 sends it to phase 2. Phase 2 has to put a water droplet around it so it can safely get out of the body. It goes out through the kidneys or the intestines or through sweat. And so, but when phase 1 comes in, when things go into phase 1, it's very fast, and phase 2 is very slow. So phase 2 can't keep up, which is also why we get so toxic, which is why these toxins go straight up into the brain. And so the particular product that I use, it actually raises the speed of phase 2. And that's what we need. There's a lot of really bad detoxes out there, and there's a lot of dangerous ones. There's a lot of, I had a woman from a very popular essential oils company tell everybody at an event that if they just took 2 drops of lemon oil every day, that could be a daily detox. And I'm like, that is not a detox. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying like, okay, that's great. It's not a detox. It's just an antioxidant you're putting in your body. It's just helping with a little alkalinity. Like, that's it. So people will say all these crazy things to make you think that it's a detox or that it's healthy, and it is not. So just make sure you follow me, and I will, you'll hear more about Detox with the Doc. I'll probably start talking about it a little bit more. I'll be mentioning it here and there, but I got to get the dates down, and then you'll be hearing about it a little bit more. I'll probably do a whole show on it, why we should detox, and why we wait till after the beginning of the year. Yeah. Lily says, blows my mind. They have mercury amongst other nasty things in those pokey pokies. Yeah. Whew. Crazy town. Thank you, martial artist. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you so much. I've been trying forever to get to 1,500 subscribers. I think I'm close. Let me see where I'm at here. It takes so long. Oh, I'm at 1,500. Look at that. Or is it 1,600 I'm trying to get to? I don't know. Maybe. Let me see. YouTube Studio. Let's go back here. I know I got excited. Oh, I'm at 1,500. Okay. Okay, wait, I'm gonna take a picture. Okay, there we go. Finally rolled over to 1,500. Okay. You guys, it takes so long to build this. So long. So thank you, martial artist. You are the 1,500th person. You win. I don't know what, but here, mwah, you win. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's just this. And I know Ken and Lily and anybody else in the chat who has these platforms. It's work, but we love it. I absolutely love it. I love being here. So water, more water. We never get flu thingies or any of the sea thingies. Nope. We were the outcasts for sure. I'm among my people here. Starting with cilantro to remove heavy metals. Ghetto Hippie says, yeah. So that's, one of the things I always talk about is cilantro, parsley, the bitter greens, endive, all of those to just really start to bind and chelate those heavy metals and a lot of the toxins. So get them out. Don't ever touch a broken thermometer's mercury blob. I watched a scientist's story of doing so. She died in a slow, miserable way. It's crazy, but we can inject it into babies, and we're killing humanity very slowly. Yep. In horrible ways. If people only learned about the dangerous things in those things. Yes. Yeah. And sadly, we can't have these like big conversations about it because of censorship. Like what? No, we should be able to. I'm aware of what you're talking about. I love Dr. Sabi or Barbara O'Neill. I don't know Dr. Sabi, but I do know Barbara O'Neill. That woman's amazing, isn't she? Yeah, she's incredible. So, yes, organic cilantro, love. Thank you, Rory Gardner. I appreciate you being here, and I'm so glad you get value out of this. That's why I do. It's like, I've missed it. You know, like I said, I'll have to go back to see when my last Sunday Night Live was, but it was early summer sometime. And I'm like, oh my God, I miss you guys. I miss you so much. So, and I just love being here. Both of those are excellent, useful information. Thank you. And thank you, Kenny. I know Kenny's like one of my OGs. Kenny's been here from the beginning. So thank you for always being here and for your love and support. I appreciate that. And for hammering off people who say inappropriate things. Duff Nug. Hey, Duff Nug, thanks for being here. Welcome in. And Mad Dog, and we all love you. Oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, well, all right. So I got through all the questions. It's 10 after 7. I'm going to take a little bit of my own advice, and I'm going to go shut it down. That's what I usually do after my show is I just shut it down. I don't talk to anybody. I'm like, don't try to call me. I go, kind of journal out a little bit and just relax and just get my brain ready for the week. So, all right. I'm so happy to be back. All right. So we're doing next week. We're going to talk about how to survive the holidays between good food, healthy eating, your good chiropractic care. So stay healthy, you guys. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you for being here. You make my day. You make my week. So love you all. We'll see you Thursday for Chiropractic is Sexy, and see you next Sunday for Sunday Night Live. Talk to you soon.